Here. Mr. Bates. Here. Ms. Carnabucci.
Here.
And Mr. Legata. Next up is to approve the agenda addendum items.
Second.
Thank you. Vote, Mr. Greeno.
Yes.
Ms. Carnabucci.
Yes.
Mr. Stein. And Mr. Bates. Next item is to approve or amend the meeting minutes from November 18, 2024.
Second.
Questions, comments, edits for those meeting minutes? Call the vote. Ms. Carnabucci.
Yes.
Mr. Stein.
Yes.
Mr. Bates. Mr. Greeno.
Yes.
All right, next up is a presentation of the financial statement for the month of November 2024. Dawn, you want to go over some fund balances for us?
Yes. For the month of November, the general fund had a beginning balance of $5,219,766 and an ending balance of $4,665,583. The land improvement fund had a beginning balance of $1,769,022 and an ending balance of $1,776,117. All of the funds combined have an ending balance of $6,441,700.
Thank you, Dawn.
You're welcome.
Any questions on the November financial statement? And now we'll move on to the presentation of the payment report for the bills paid for the month of November 2024. A second to look at those. Questions on the bills paid for the month of November? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and move on. Next item on the agenda is old business. Planning updates. Nothing from Matt.
Really nothing new from last month other than Veterans Legacy. We have some completion, so there'll be some punch list stuff in the spring, and that'll be pretty much wrapped up, so.
Questions on 2024 capital projects? Now we'll move on to new business. Start with Resolution 8, 2024, the 2025 fund budget appropriations. Don, you want to go over those for us? Let me start, I'll read you now. We'll start. Commissioners, please find a resolution for adoption of the 2025 final appropriations resolution. Following format conforms with legal level budgetary control according to Ohio Revised Code 5705.38C that requires appropriation measures shall be classified so as to set forth separately the amounts appropriated for each office, department, and division, and within each the amount appropriated for personnel services. Therefore, this budget conforms with state statute, and the appropriation resolution is presented as follows: by fund, by department, personnel services, salaries and benefits, all other non-personal service expenditures. All right. You want to go over fund balances on there for us? Thank you.
We are estimating general fund revenue to be $7,158,503, and expenditures to be $6,872,702, with an ending fund balance of $3,452,323. We are estimating land improvement revenue to be $536,821, and expenditures to be $1,205,000, with an ending fund balance of $1,463,955.
Dawn,
You're welcome.
any questions on the 2025 fund budget appropriations? If not, entertain a motion to approve.
So make a motion.
Second.
Thank you. Call the vote, Mr. Bates,
Yes.
Mr. Stein,
Yes.
Mr. Carnegie,
Yes.
Mr. Greeno.
Yes.
Okay. Next up, Resolution 9, 2024, tax advance resolution. Commissioners, please accept this resolution to request advances of real estate taxes collected on the district's behalf and deposited into the general fund, Fund number 1000, as set forth on the following dates provided by the Jog County Auditor's Office. Those dates for collection are January 27th, 2025, February 24th, 2025, June 30th, 2025, and July 14th, 2025. This will assist with cash flow and that tax revenues will be dispersed to the district in a timelier manner. Any questions on that? Not, entertain a motion to approve Resolution 9, 2024.
Second.
Thank you. For the vote, Ms. Carnegie,
Yes.
Mr. Greeno,
Yes.
Mr. Bates,
Yes.
and Mr. Stone.
Yes.
Next up, Resolution 10, 2024, Hammond Hills Carbon Credit Project. Resolution number 11, 2024, resolution verifying the 2024 actions of the Jog Park District Board of Park Commissioners for participation in a carbon credit program, whereas the Hammond Hills property, formerly referenced as Kit Ridge property, was purchased in September 2023 by Jog Park District with the assistance of Western Reserve Land Conservancy. Whereas Western Reserve Land Conservancy is currently working with City Forest Credits, a national nonprofit carbon registry, registering and issuing credits for forests such as those protected by Jog Park District. Whereas City Forest Credits carbon crediting standard has been endorsed by the International Carbon Reduction and Offset Accreditation, ICROA, the oldest accreditation program for the carbon market. Whereas Western Reserve Land Conservancy has registered 7 carbon credit projects to date, whereas 57 acres of high-quality upland forest at Hampton Hills aligns with the requirements of a preservation carbon credit project as defined by city forest credits protocols. Whereas to register the project, the Park District will, with the support of Western Reserve Land Conservancy, complete an application, enter into an agreement with City Forest Credit, and complete project registration prior to September 29, 2025, as required within 2 years of property acquisition. Whereas compliance with the requirements of the preservation protocol will restrict the removal of trees in the project area for at least a 40-year period. Whereas for similar projects, the Land Conservancy has averaged 92 credits per acre for preservation projects, and credits has sold at prices ranging from $34 to $55 per credit, giving the 57 acres at Hampton Hills an approximate value of $178,296 to $288,420. The resolution goes on to affirm your actions following any discussion and any vote. Questions or comments on the proposed project? Not, entertain motion to approve.
I make a motion.
Second.
Thank you. Next up, some surplus items to declare surplus property. Paper shredder, the item is defective. A 1, 2, 3 monitors, 4 monitors, 5 monitors, all items are defective. Mice and keyboards, items are defective. Video cables, items are defective. And 2 server battery backups, the item is defective. So all those items I just listed, are requesting to declare them surplus property as scrap.
Second.
Okay, questions? None, call the vote. Mr. Reno?
Yes.
Ms. Carnegie? Mr. Stein?
Yeah.
And Mr. Davis?
Yes.
All right, moving on to Commissioners' time. We have a presentation from Linda Gilbert, one of our park naturalists. Lucas, you're the IT guy. Do you want to go in any particular order?
I got the book ready.
Okay, all right, we'll let Linda go first with a presentation on research in the parks.
Good morning, everybody. So I have about 40-minute presentation to do in 10 minutes. So we'll see how we do here. So which is the format? So I'm going to fly through this. So my duties, I get to do some naturals programming stuff. I do a little bit of research things too, and so when I put this together, I was surprised at how much there was. I'm like, how am I going to do this? So anyway, here we go. I'm starting off with the dragons and damsels because they're my favorite. And so Geauga County this year, out of 112 species that we could get in Geauga County, we got 67 species. So that's about 60% of that number. There were some good ones though. And so last year we had this invasion of this species, the four-spotted skimmer, which we think the Canadian wildfires drove them down into our area. Everybody was excited, ooh, what's going to happen in 2024? Not much, but it turns out the nymph, the aquatic nymph underwater stage, has a 2-year life cycle, so we got to keep an eye out for it this year. 3 of our parks had this species. There were only 5 sightings in Geauga County, so that's really cool. Yay us. So anyway, we'll keep our fingers crossed. Here's our threatened species that we have. 9 of our parks support this species, the Harlequin darner. It's threatened, habitat specific. Northeast Ohio has a very short flight season, so some of these specialists are on the wing for only a short time, but I'm always thrilled to see this species when it's active. Here's a great one. I was excited when I found this one. So our new property, Kittredge property, Camden Hills, this dark dragon was flying and I managed to catch it, a twin-spotted spiketail. The aquatic nymph of this species requires up to 6 years in a stream, so it better be a clean stream. And we've got that nice stretch of Bates Creek, which flows through the Kittredge property. So that was an awesome find there. As well as this one, the lily pad clubtail, again, rare, short flight season. They can be locally common, and we've got a couple parks that support this species. So this is good that we're coming up with this on our new property. Same goes for this damselfly, which is uncommon. Fewer than probably half of the counties in Ohio had current records. The dark counties on the map are the most current records. So some of these things are not doing so great. Was thrilled to find it where? At Camden Hills, Kittredge property. Here's my lovely pictures of the Cyrano darner, which is uncommon. It was enough for a documentation photo. And somebody actually in iNaturals was able to identify that species is what it was. Again, uncommon to rare. This is what it looks like if you can get it sitting still. If it's laying eggs, the female, or if the male gets stuck behind the window netting at the Westwoods, it needs to be rescued. Cyrano because of the large nose, the poet Cyrano de Bergerac, and that's how. So that was a good one. Moving on now, I inherited from our field naturalist, the West Virginia White Survey. This is a citizen science project. Volunteers do it. We surveyed 4 parks and 13, 16, 7, and 0 respectively. This is a butterfly that's not doing well. It's woodland species. Habitat fragmentation, forest fragmentation is not good for it. It's not going to fly across an open space to get a nut to another section of woodland. And then garlic mustard, that nasty plant, sometimes the butterfly lays its eggs on that. The caterpillars hatch, they eat the garlic mustard leaves, and then they die because they're toxic. So not doing well. So we keep tabs on how we're doing here in the park with that. Butterfly surveys, I get so discouraged with these because numbers are down. Shows the species numbers at Froring and Burton Wetlands. That gap is because we had a naturalist injury one year and then 2 years where we couldn't find the data sheets. We think we sent them off to the History Museum and forgot to make copies for us. So anyway, so 28 species at Burton Wetlands and 16 at Froring Meadows. Most of the time this is pretty stable, but Froring is going down a little bit. Abundance, however, is like way down. This is not good. Even when common species are not abundant, it really bothers me. And there's all kinds of factors, habitat loss, things like that. So anyway, I take a look at the top 3 species, most common in each park: the pearl crescent, the clouded sulfur, and the cabbage white. Pearl crescents are stable, and our data actually agrees with the 20-year study that looked at the stability of some of these critters. And so we're right with the data on that one. Clouded sulfurs, down. We have nice numbers here early in the survey, and now we're way down. The same with the cabbage white. This is the one that's going to eat your cabbage or your cruciferous vegetables, the cabbage. But real common, and now it's down too. So very discouraging. Anyway, monarchs, abysmal. Just not doing, didn't see many of them at all. 2 and 6 in each park this year. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service has just proposed that it be listed as threatened under the Endangered Species Act. This is the QR code for the press release if you want to scan it. But anyway, so what's that going to mean for people who want to raise and help the monarch? There will be allowable small-scale rearing of monarchs, but like commercial operations and stuff, they're not going to do that. So we'll still be able to, raise them to show our grandkids or whatever. So anyway, but that's pretty sad. They're not doing too well in Mexico either. The logging in the mountains and things, not good. Tiger swallowtail is a species, big and flashy. Luckily, it's holding its own. Didn't have the greatest year at Froring this year, but its population is stable. Then there's this. Does everybody know what this one is? The spotted lanternfly. Yes, we found it at Froring Meadows. So if you see it in our parks anywhere, let me know, because I'm curious to know where they are. So we did collect it as a specimen. Interesting, this is the map for Ohio. Look at where they're clustered. Cleveland, Toledo, Columbus, Cincinnati. Why is that? Probably because there's more invasive species. Their host plant is the tree of heaven, and some of those more invasive type things are found probably clustered around those city centers. I know tree of heaven grows along the rapid transit lines going down into Cleveland. So anyway, it will do its thing and then it'll pass. If you really want to do something about it, then try and get rid of the egg mass and see where it is. It's like tree bark. Good luck. But if you feel like you want to do your part, it's better to destroy the egg masses than try to stomp and squish a whole bunch of adults there. I have not found any egg masses, nor have I seen any spotted lanternflies other than that one at Froring that day. So go figure. A new bee that I found at Froring Meadows. I feel like I know the insects pretty well there, so when something new, it stands out. And so this one, I'm like, what's that? Take pictures of it, real excited. Put it in iNaturalist. They identify it as the sculptured resin bee, and then I see it's not native. So whether or not it's going to have an impact, we don't know, but it's a leaf cutter bee. And and so it's good at pollinating other invasive species. Moving on to, let's see, what do I do next here? We have, we had this little event in April. The park was participating in 2 citizen science opportunities. The NASA Globe Observer kept track of the temperature. There's our temperature graph for the day. And then the other project that we were involved with is Eclipse Soundscape, which involves putting out this little recording device somewhere out in the habitat. Basically, it's a circuit board attached to a battery pack. There's a little micro SD card, a USB port, and a little microphone. And you put it out 3 days before the eclipse, collect it 3 days after the eclipse, and then send the sound cards off to the eclipse people. So we had 2. I bought one because I wanted one for me, but we got a kit from the eclipse people too, so we were 2. So I put it in the meadow at Russell Park because that's a known woodcock dancing area. So would they do their dance when it got dark in the middle of the afternoon? The answer was no, they did not. But it was nice to know that some things happen just the same. This is the sound file, which I copied all the sound files before I sent it back because I'm like, it'll take them forever. I wanted to do my own analysis. So over here is where we had totality, and what happened, I'm not going to play the song thing because it's too long. I've got limited time here, but about 1 minute before totality, all of a sudden the bird song just kind of dropped off, and the spring peeper songs came up, and through that 3 minutes of fairly darkness, the peepers had tuned up. So
That's awesome.
not unexpected, but nice to see that it happened just the same. Breeding bird surveys. So when we get a new property, we always do biological assessments. The breeding bird survey is one of the tools that we use. So we had 5 points. This is the survey protocol. Here's our bird list. We had 52 species, and each species is given a breeding bird code based on behaviors that we observe. So if you see a bird building a nest or carrying, if you